welcome back to another episode of Bizpedia Team Talks. I am delighted to have 4 Bizpedia members in the room. The format's very simple. The 4 members all bring a question. The idea is we're having our own little team talk in our huddle where we're going to share everyone's tips, tricks and words of wisdom. But before we get started, we're going to quickly introduce ourselves. So, Richard, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, my name's Richard Knight, run a business called Lionheart Business Troubleshooting, so business troubleshooter and mentor, and also the host for the Ascot Group.
I'm Darren Cooper from the Peter Cooper Motor Group, and we do everything to do with Volkswagen passenger cars. We've also got leasing companies that cater for everything from Ford to Ferrari on new vehicles, prestige cars businesses that do exactly the same on used, and also install electric vehicle charging points.
I'm Chris Hales. I'm from Match Accounting. We help small to medium-sized business understand what is the lifeblood, the language of business, which is accounts. Give them up-to-date information, leverage technology to help streamline processes, and basically take the hassle of a finance function away from them, and give them information when they need it, as they need it.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm Sam Woodward. I'm the sales director at the 5-star Southampton Harbour Hotel down in Ocean Village, home to the Jetty, Harbour on 6th, and 121 bedrooms, part of the wider Harbour Hotels group. It's made up of 15 properties and venues throughout the south of England.
Nice. Welcome, gents. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Right, so first question then. Mr. Knight, let's start with you. What's on your mind? What do you want to ask these handsome young men?
Right, so what is
I'll include myself in that bracket.
Sure you would, Josh. So what is the main driver behind why you do what you do?
Mr. Cooper, go on.
Me?
Yeah,
Shall I
kick us
first?
off. Our favourite car dealer.
I thought about the potentials of saying, you know, is it to provide for your family, to provide for yourself, for a nest egg for the future? I think ultimately, it's to the drive is because you want to be successful. Doesn't matter what I do or what I do now, what I might do tomorrow. Whatever I do, I want to be successful. So I think, yes.
Have you always been competitive?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a winner, right? Is that what
Not
it comes
always,
to?
no. I am up here in practice.
Yeah, but staying with that like sentiment though, like effectively you want to be the best, and do you think that's the competitive nature in you, like coming out?
Yeah, I guess ultimately I want to be the best I can be, and if that's got the capabilities of being the best at whatever I'm actually doing at that time, then that's an added bonus, I guess. Because I want to be able to provide for my family, and I want to be able to secure their future. But and what made me sort of think about the successful thing is, if I sold the business and somebody said, right, you can stop working now, and your future will be completely secure, as will your families. I wouldn't go, oh yes, okay, no problem, I'll stop working. I would still want to work. I'd still have that drive to do something and be successful at it. So that's why.
Yeah, I love that. Darren Cooper's motivated by being the best version of himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Sam, what about you? What drives you?
Again, outside of the nest egg, the finance side of things, I think for me, and it was interesting, I was thinking about it on the way into work this morning, and I heard that they're currently in France in uproar that the age of retirement is going to be lifted to 64, and it's going to be 68, I think, soon in our country. So 30 years left, which gives away my age there. But I thought, for me, it's getting to a place where for the next 30 years, I'm still got that drive in the morning to go up and go into my workplace. And I think kind of, it's evolved over my career. It was always about the money and then the title. And I think now it's more of being in, and particularly what I do, a hotel or a group of hotels that I'm really proud to represent every day. I think, and I know, Josh, you said yourself when we got together, it's you spend a lot of time up in having a coffee in Harbour, and actually to be able to kind of leave a place on a Friday where people are queuing to get into with big smiles on their face means kind of the world to me. And I think the driver for me is leaving on that Friday, kind of knowing that people are desperate to come in and have a good time in your workplace, I think.
So you feel like your motivation drives changed through your career today?
Yeah, for sure.
Or about the money and stuff? And
Yeah,
now
for sure. Yeah,
sounds to me like you want to be proud of what you do.
yeah,
Or you like that sense of being
yeah,
proud.
yeah. I
really
think
does.
kind of, you know, different stages of your life, you come on to different financial goals, and that may go through another phase again for me, I'm quite sure, over the next 30 years. But right here, right now, I just want to be, really proud of kind of, you know, the name above my door, really, I think.
Richard, it was your question. What comes to mind for you? Has your drive and motivation changed over your career, or has it always been the same?
I guess to a degree. I mean, I've never been driven by money. It was always to provide for my family, like Darren said. I like supplying a service to people, quality service. I never sold anybody anything they didn't want, you know, because it wouldn't have sat well with me. And I like connecting people. So that's what I get a real passion out of. If I can connect somebody to somebody else and they can generate a relationship or do business because of that, I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Chris, what's your thoughts?
Pretty much what's already been said, I think. I mean, without sounding too crass, obviously finance is the number one game for me. Not necessarily to, you know, pile up so I can sit on loads of money and log into my app and see what's in there. More the sort of opportunity that it gives you. So obviously I've got 2 young kids. We like to go on holiday. We like to do other stuff. Just knowing that, you know, if I could make a success, then possibly that will give them opportunities as well. So that's basically why. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. DC, what's your question? Sorry, Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
for our audience.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
respect whilst on film.
Yes, absolutely.
My question was, which single value would you attribute the most to your success?
Who wants to kick me off then? Richard, come on, you're a man of
No, I'll kick it off.
Strong values,
For
I'd
me, it would be personal development. I got into the Amway business 5 years before I set up a conventional business. I had 5 years in that sort of association with highly successful people. And we used to subscribe to a personal development program of a personal development book every month, a tape as it was back then, or CD every week, and regular seminars on a monthly basis. So I was associating with successful and success-minded people at 23 years of age. I set up my advertising business at 30. And that gave me a good grounding. So I'm a real advocate of personal development, and I sort of do promote that to other people as well.
So would you say that, to distill that to being a value of maybe like curiosity or learning, like continually learning?
Yeah.
And you think that served you well in your career today?
Yeah, and I think it
That's
it
one of the
does.
major
I
reasons.
still read books every day. You know, I get an amazing amount of people I come across that say to me, I don't have time to read books. And I said, well, look, if you set a goal to read a book a month and there's 300 pages in the book, it's 10 pages a day. It's not that difficult to do it, you know. But it's just getting into that habit. And it's amazing what you pick up. You know, I always think with a book, if you just get one nugget out of that book, it's been worth reading it.
Give us your best book recommendation. Often
The
get asked.
E-Myth Revisited is a book I always promote to people when they first set up in business.
Okay.
It teaches you how to run a business properly. Too many people try and do everything themselves rather than focus on what they're good at and outsource everything else, whereas the E-Myth will actually teach you how to run a business properly from day one.
Nice.
So that's one of my favourites, yeah.
Thanks, Richard. Chris, values. What value would you say has led to you being sat at this table drinking Exton Vineyard Rosé and, you know, living the dream?
I did think about it. So I couldn't actually. I thought of something to sting, but couldn't really put a word in value. So
Should we see if we can help
see if you can help me out with this one.
Go
So
for it.
I don't like letting people down, and although it is a strong value that obviously has gains as well, or seem part of my success, it's also part of my downfall as well. In that, you know, if a client comes to us, it's generally they need something quickly or they need something, you know, important, and I just can't say no to helping them because, unfortunately, you know, we do deal with clients at stressful times, and it's just you just want to try and help them as much as you can because ultimately their successes will become your successes as well. So I don't know what value that is called.
Would that be, I don't know, trust in the way that they're coming to you, that they trust in your ability to help them solve whatever the problem is, that you will deliver what you say you're going to deliver, and
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I mean, obviously...
Like integrity.
yeah.
Like reliability. It's interesting. Do you struggle to switch off from that as well? Because I find sometimes I'm so invested in a relationship that you know, kind of no matter what hour it is, no matter if you're on holiday? How do you, kind of where do you draw the line on that?
Well, I have a work phone and a private phone,
Right.
so that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
Try to switch off. Actually, we tried something in January, which is our busiest time, where we'd leave our laptops in the office, because normally with laptops you put them in your bag, you go home, and the first thing you do is open it back up when you get home and whatever. So I try to have that separation, but it can be difficult, but I sort of try and tell myself that there's only so much you could do at certain points. So if it does come in on the weekend, there's very little I can do anyway, so it'll probably be, right, set that on the to-do list for Monday and work from there.
So we staying with integrity. So we've got learning as a value, right?
Well, I quite like
Chris?
trust, because trust is
Trust,
obviously,
okay.
you know, the trusted advisor bit is obviously where we try to aim, because we want our clients to come to us with these things, because the more they come to us, the more we can help them.
Chris, it's your question. I mean, well, it's your answer. If you want trustworthy, you can have trustworthy, okay?
Trustworthy,
That's
yeah.
what we're going with that. We're in agreement. So we've got learning and trustworthy. Sam, what about you?
I think in a word, probably honesty. Kind of, you know, you strip back everything that I do, and ultimately, I'm a salesman, I guess. And I think it's been really important to me throughout my career to be honest in that I believe in the product. I've always been involved in hospitality and particularly hotels, and kind of it doesn't have to be 5-star Condé Nast, you know, hotel of the year. But for me, what it does have to be is servicing and providing the best that it can be within that area. Now, that may be just purely an airport hotel, for example, but if it provides the most amount of bedrooms, it really serves its purpose. I can get behind that. I've got passion for that, kind of knowing what I'm bringing to my clients is genuinely the best in the area at what it does. And I think without that, or the minute I've found a hotel or hotel group that isn't investing, that's resting on its kind of laurels, that isn't kind of reinventing themselves, I find that passion in me that dies, and then I want to move on to the next thing then, because I don't think it's fair for my client base that I'm not genuine in truly kind of what I'm selling to them, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds really congruent to me, because you're motivated by being proud of the product, but a value of yours is being honest.
Yeah,
So-
100%. And I want to be true to myself in that honesty.
And
you
being
know?
a salesman, you have to really believe in what you sell,
100%.
right? Because if you don't, people can taste it.
100%. And that's when I kind of part of the reason for moving to Harbour, you know, some of the beautiful locations are locations where I grew up going on holiday, you know, really fond, great memories. So when I'm sat in front of a client, it's so easy to sell, because it's just, you've got that romanticism about it. So it's just kind of, the passion is natural, I suppose.
So when you've changed jobs though, Sam, I guess having confidence in your product is a big deciding factor for you, because you wouldn't go somewhere that you would feel happy promoting if it didn't set well with you, would you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think kind of, I've done the old interview when I've walked through the doors of a place and I've not been inspired by it, you know. So I think, well, how am I going to inspire my clients to come and do business here if it's just flat with me from the word go, you know?
Darren, how about you? What would you say, looking back on your career, what's the one value?
I'd say it's the same value as we have in the Peter Cooper Motor Group, which is excellence, delivering excellence. Right from a customer experience perspective, you know, you've got to try and wow the customer. It doesn't matter how simple the initial point of contact might be. But ultimately, it's a bit of a life value of, if you're going to do something, then do it to the best of your abilities. You know, your name's going against that, so don't cut corners. Don't hold back. You know, be as proud as possible about whatever it is. You know, it's something that I talk to my kids about. But as I said, we have a value in the business about it as well, and it's about everything that encompasses delivering excellence. So it's being professional, being trustworthy, working as a team, engaging with respect, and treating other people as you want to be treated yourself. But all of those things together will drive excellence.
And your clients to come back to you.
Yeah, exactly. It should self-fulfill itself,
Yeah.
because if you do a good job in that, then you're going to breed staff loyalty, you're going to breed customer loyalty, and a successful business.
I don't know about you, I'm really enjoying this. It's nice to peel back the layers of you guys. Right. Okay. Right, Sam, let's come to you. Question.
My question. So it's a dinner party question of mine. So I thought I'd bring it to the group. You are faced with two options: the blue pill or the red pill, if you like. So you and your family are set for life, but you have to stay in England and never leave England. That's you and your immediate partner. Or you and your family are set for life, but you must leave England and leave everyone behind, apart from your immediate partner, and you can never return. So I guess it's kind of, really starting to get into the crux of what you love or what maybe you don't love about England, what you could leave behind or what you couldn't.
I like your work. I like the vibe you're bringing to this. Right, ready on blue pill, red pill. Which one would be the blue one in this conversation?
I guess let's say the blue pill is staying.
Staying in England. Right, Chris, what do you reckon?
Well, I've got a bit of inside knowledge on this anyway, because I've got two brothers who live in Australia. So I understand the pain of the 3 p.m. kickoffs that are a lot, and midweek games that start at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But I think I'd have to go for the red pill, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So leaving the UK, never
Yeah,
coming back?
I think so,
Or
yeah.
England, sorry.
Yeah. Do I need to apologise to my mum and dad at this point?
Just tell
Still
them
love
now.
you.
Just tell,
What do you mean you wouldn't take them with you?
I don't think
He's
they're
not allowed to.
They're not allowed to.
family.
I would do, but the rules say I can't. So that's unfortunate.
So
But,
family's your immediate family only.
Absolute immediate, yeah.
Chris, if you want to do a piece to camera, just telling your mum and dad you love them.
well, they know how much I love them anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, right, so we've got one leave. Richard?
I'd stay in the UK, but bearing in mind that I'm a generation away from most of you guys, so if not all of you. So I think that over the last 3 years, I had this conversation with my wife, and I said, if I couldn't travel anywhere else but stay in the UK, I'd be quite happy with that. And a lot of the holidays that we've had over the last 3 years have been in the UK, and to be quite honest, I've enjoyed it. And we've gone with our kids and their other halves, so there's like 6 of us, and Denise's brother tends to tag along with us now as well. So that's 7 of us, and I actually do quite enjoy spending time with our family. And I can't just rock up on holiday. I've got a spreadsheet of what we're going to do every day, and so we've got activities planned, because I can't just say wake up in the morning and say, okay, what are we going to do? The weather would be one factor. Obviously, it's not as good here as it would be in other parts of the world, but I do love this country. I think it's got great scenery, and when the sun's shining, there's nowhere better.
That's the perfect answer for me and my company, because it stems as well, this question around the whole staycation thing. We're doing a lot of work at the moment. The natural demand has kind of gone or is petering out. So it's how can we kind of, reinvent the staycation again to kind of create a demand that perhaps isn't there. But
I think there's a lot of people that are holidaying in the UK. I mean, myself and my wife own a holiday cabin down in Devon that we rent out. And it's pretty much chock-a-block all year round, which is an indication that a lot of people do like holidaying in the UK.
It's great. That's what we
Darren?
want.
Yeah.
We're 1-1 at the moment.
So
Leave Remain. Where are you?
I'm Remain.
Okay.
And I thought, actually, I don't like having to do one thing, but accepting the question and accepting the definition of set for life, whatever that is. I'm assuming it can be as extreme as you want
Of course,
it to be.
yeah.
I thought, look,
You thought it through, which I like.
I've chosen to spend as much of my life as I have in the UK. So, there's obviously a lot of good things that I associate to it. No one's making me stay here. And, like you really, walking away from all your friends and all your family that you've built up over that time, I think I value all of that more than going and starting again somewhere else.
You starting to feel bad, Chris?
If they love you, they'll set you free.
Sam, where do you fall on your own question?
I think I'm probably stay as well. Again, it's been discussed, at many a dinner table, and I think that for all those reasons, the traditions I was brought up on that I'd like to kind of, etch or pass on to my children when I come to that stage, I think it's put me in good stead for where I am and where I'm going. So yeah, no one's ever had a gun to my head to stay here, and here I am, happy and kind of looking forward to my future here. So yeah, stay.
Nice. Chris, I'm going to make it a drubbing for you at 4-1 as well. I think I'm going to stick with stay. Not that it's
not like I don't like England. I love England. Obviously,
You said it.
I just find.
We know you're trustworthy, so you're telling the truth.
I don't know whether it's because of when you go on holiday, you go to all these places. And I fully understand that being on holiday is different to actually living in the country. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which country you're in, you have the same stresses and things like that. So I get that. But I just find that it just feels like when you go abroad places, just the type of lifestyle, the whole sort of, it just seems to come down a couple of miles an hour. Nice. You know.
Well, we're lucky we live in a world where you can do both right now.
Exactly.
But good question. Thank you for bringing it. Right, Chris, what's your question?
So my question was, if you could go back to the start of your business, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself?
Richard, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, don't spend money you haven't got to impress people you don't like or you don't know. I had first year in business set up on September the 4th, 1987. That Christmas, myself and my wife and my business partner and his wife, we spent £2,000 on watches for us each. I didn't have 2,000 quid, 500 quid each. And what's that today? Pretty stupid thing to do. Every month for the first 12 months, we'd ring Kathy up, who was the PA to our bank manager. We say, Kath, we haven't done enough business this month. Can you top our overdraft up by another £2,000? So the end of year one, we were 24 grand in debt. And then you sort of have a bit of a wake-up call and say, OK, well, how are we going to turn this around then? But the December of that first year, I actually went to Australia for a month as well. So pretty stupid. So I always say to people now, if you can't afford to buy something twice, you can't afford it.
Okay.
You still got the watches?
I've still got them. They don't work. I've still got them.
You'll take them valued and then you know whether it's a bad decision or not.
Yeah, it probably was a
worth
bad
fortune,
decision.
yeah.
Thanks, Richard. Sam, go back in time. What would you say?
So I kind of base my answer, I guess, on my career, obviously not being a business owner. And I think for me, it's the kind of your internal stakeholders and who you surround yourself with in the business. I think probably kind of looking back on my career, I perhaps kind of, like mentally, perhaps did myself a bit of damage by not being around the right people at work and kind of, again, and I know I said this earlier on, but I guess you're striving for the titles and the money and kind of not realising, it's cliche to say, but you spend more time at work, right? So you want to be surrounded with people that are on your wavelength, that are good for you mentally. And I think kind of probably a lot of time wasted over the course of my career so far. I say wasted, it's got me to where I am and it makes you stronger. But I think, now what's really important to me is just looking at the infrastructure of the business, who your reporting lines are, who reports into you, and what that makeup looks like, really.
What types of people do you think are good to be hanging out with? If you were to describe the, people that are
I think for me personally, I'm kind of, quite creative, quite kind of, that really I just want to kick on and progress. I don't want to say versions of me, because that sounds overly self-indulgent, but I think kind of just people with just people with kind of a similar mindset, I think, and personality. You don't need to be similar. You could be introvert, extrovert, but if you've got the same outlook and work ethic, I think work ethic particularly, again, it's cliche to say, but kind of the whole work hard, play hard is very important to me, and particularly in a hospitality environment, because that has always been a thing in hospitality. You're surrounded by food and drink and kind of, nightlife and all the rest of it. So I think as long as you're prepared to put in the hours, like knuckle down, then you can truly all celebrate your results together.
So you go back in time, yours would be hanging out, surrounding yourself with more like-minded people.
I guess so, yeah.
Curating an environment around yourself.
Maybe stronger foundations as such,
Okay, nice. Mr. Cooper?
I guess mine would be twofold, but if you're a business owner, then my advice would probably be to tell myself that if you've got property involved in your business, then always try and make it freehold, because at least then over a period of time, that's an asset that you're investing in yourself, rather than just paying for somebody else's mortgage, effectively. But if it wasn't to a business owner that had property involved, then it would probably be along the lines of what our key value is, or what my key value was, which is about delivering excellence. So be the best that you can be, do the best that you can do, and don't cut corners. And that includes, I mentioned respect earlier, but treat people as you want to be treated yourself, because it's amazing over a period of time how many times paths can cross. And I've seen lots of people where they haven't necessarily treated somebody as well as they should have done, or certainly could have done, and actually they've paid the price in the greater scheme of things, because that person's ended up having something that they needed or could help them.
Nice. Some very wise heads on these very young shoulders, which I like. Right, okay.
I like the young shoulders.
I slipped it in. It's also factual, Darren. Right, last question then for you, gents, all right?
Do you want me to answer that one, Josh? Or?
No, I don't actually, Chris. I'm sitting away from I know you're trustworthy. Look, feedback for Josh. Chris, what would you like to... It was a 4-1 defeat that you just suffered. I was like, it's not having a good time.
I deserve a comeback after that then. I've been silenced. I've been banished to outside England now.
Mate, yeah, we're the pro-England. We're the pro-Remain even. Go on.
I don't know, to be honest.
Back in time.
I'd probably say be open, be prepared to learn all the way through your journey. And that can go for business owners or your role within a larger organisation, really. I mean, I think it was mentioned earlier with the E-Myth. That was basically 10 years ago. That was me sitting, working for someone thinking, oh God, if I don't build my dream, I'll be building someone else's. I can do this much better and get paid much more. And yeah, I probably could if all I had to do was the work. But when you start building out a business and you have to wear all these different hats you have to wear, especially when you're bootstrapping at the very start, and the hardest bit for me was probably dealing with people as well. So learning how to do that, and basically really just keep on learning, keep on reading, keep on having these sort of discussions with your peers and stuff like that, and just go in there with an open mind, really.
Good takeaways.
Yeah, see?
Good comeback. It's a good. It's a. I know, right? It's a good comeback. I like it. He's bounced back strong. Good value. Bounce back ability.
Back in the game.
Back in the game.
Yeah. Right. Last question then. So, for each of you, the question is: you get to have a celebrity to endorse your business. Who do you pick and why? So I'm thinking like big promo, big shout out. We've got them in front of the camera. They're going to say your business is amazing. Who would you like to be saying those words? Sam, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. For us and our organisation, I think it would be...
Is it just yours or the team's?
No, the team threw Kim Kardashian straight at me, so I don't think she should be at the forefront of Harbour hotels.
Okay. No to Kim. I'm writing down.
Yeah, no to Kim. I think Fred Syriacs.
Okay.
Just because...
I don't know who that is, by the way.
It's the guy, you would recognise him, the French guy.
Oh, what, from the dating programme?
Correct,
Yes,
yeah.
I do know him, yeah.
But more recently, he's aligned himself to true 5-star service, food and beverage. And without kind of doing a sales pitch too much, that truly is what our business is about. He's current, he's a gracious and a great host. He knows his cocktails, he knows his wine, and he knows what food to pair with them. And I think kind of that is truly what we're about at kind of, the hotel and the wider hotel group. So to have him kind of, facing it up would be good for us.
Go Fred. Thanks. Richard, coming to you. Who do you want?
I wouldn't have a celebrity, Josh.
Okay.
I would feel much more comfortable being endorsed by business owners that I respect, that have built bigger businesses than I've done, that would sort of endorse it. So it would be business owners that I've met and respect a lot that would be the people I would look up to on that, I think.
All right, nice. Chris?
Well, I went from purely a business point of view here.
Okay.
And I actually had asked this question to my wife, and she said Thierry Henry, and I went, that was my first, but it's not the one I'm going to pick. Yeah. Although you might be able to put some more room into the thing. So purely from a business endorsement point of view, I went for someone who, when they speak, millions listen. And if you believe everything about him, he actually changes government policy. Right. And that's our main man, Martin Lewis.
Okay.
I reckon if he was to say a few kind words about him, he would trash my website with
Very true.
So.
Nice pick.
Purely for the likes and the social and stuff like that,
Yeah.
rather than.
And really all around finance. Nice. Give that some thought. You come on strong in the second half of this podcast.
Well, I'd rather meet Thierry Henry.
Darren?
Mine would probably be King Charles.
Okay.
Mainly because of everything that he would bring with it, the royal crest of approval, which I think is something that so many businesses would love to pay to get, but you can't. It's all around standards, it's around sustainability, so it ticks so many boxes. And I just think to have that, next to our company name would be really cool.
And a little crest on every car you sell.
Exactly. Or a big one. Yeah. Size matters.
We'll caption that. That's a highlight reel. Welcome to Bizpedia. Thank you. Right. So, gents, really appreciate your time. My final question, just to wrap all this up, is your final thought. So, everything you've heard today in this last hour or so, what's the one thing that resonated? Could be anything. So, Richard, let's go with you.
I just love learning, Josh. So being around people that are successful or success-minded is really important to me. And, again, the little nuggets you can take away from this are just invaluable, really. Loved it.
Yes. Darren?
I think it's belief and passion. Everybody is got good, strong beliefs in themselves and their capabilities, but you've all got passion, or we've all got passion in what we do. And I think that's a great combination.
Chris?
Apart from the fact if I don't back England, Josh would talk to you. I'd probably say
We're going to Zoom these days, so we're going to be fine.
I quite like the I think Darren mentioned it, the whole excellence thing and actually building a business around that and doing the best that you can.
Sam?
I think for me, it was the answers to my question. Actually, I didn't expect it to go that way, and to be able to take back to the business how passionate everyone is about this country, holidaying in this country. It's as I said, like music to my ears. So I'll be able to take that back to the boardroom for sure.
Nice. Well, Sam, Chris, Darren, Richard, really appreciate being here. Thanks for giving up your time.
Cheers.
Thanks to all of you who tuned in and listened. To Exton Vineyard for hosting today with the wine, and B4B for recording this. Until next time, keep smashing it. Bizpedia out.